The first time I met Sheryl was back in Marinol. I think we were in high school then. I remember I was in first year and she was in fourth year. And first time I met Andre was through my sister, Sweet. They were classmates back in PT. Yes. Okay, the first time I met Sheryl, we were in nursery school and then we were classmates until grade 1. I'm not sure, but we weren't really close back then. We became close when we got into physical therapy in UST, and that's when I met Andre. My first impression with Andre, he was like so annoying. Sorry, Andre, but you were so annoying because he was so loud. And Sheryl, she was so quiet. But once you get to know Sheryl,
she's actually maldita.
Yeah, bratinella is the right word.
And how would I describe Andre? Andre is brutally frank.
Yeah, brutally frank.
He's kind of loud.
Kind of, sobrang loud.
But in fairness, maalaga. Like, he treats me as his young sister back in the castle.
Yeah. And with Andre, you could always depend on him.
Yes.
When we were having problems with anything, with our roommates, with boys, he was
relationships.
There. Yeah, he was there to help us out. And then I remember when I had too much to drink, he was the one who took care of me. And with Sheryl, we became close because our first, in UST, we became close and we were called the foursome. Me, Jose, Sheryl, and Chin. And then we were always together. We were like the core group. And then with Sheryl, because we used to take classes together, she was really dependable. And you could always count on her with anything. Have problems when I got sick, she was there with me at the hospital. She took care of me. Both of them are really dependable, but super opposites, right?
Exact opposites. Okay. Memorable moments with Sheryl. I guess it's when they were interns and they would always sleep over at my apartment in UST. She and Burso would always sleep over at my apartment. And we would also watch UAAP games together. Back then, I was still cheering for UST. And Burso was also cheering for somebody else. Sorry, Burso. What else? I remember we got really close once again when we started hanging out at Starbucks. She was preparing for her NPTE and I was busy doing my thesis. So I remember we were sharing stories and I was the one who pushed her to date Andre. Remember, Sheryl, I even taught you how to like make pa-girl and, you know, bring him salmon sashimi from Teriyaki Boy. I don't know if you remember that, but yeah. There.
What about Andre?
With Andre, excuse me. Well, we would always watch UAAP together and we would meet up after games. Like, we would have dinner.
But before that, he would cheer na for Ateneo when we were watching at his apartment,
okay,
remember?
Yes.
And then the other half of our group would cheer for Lasal.
Yeah. So, he was actually an Atenean at heart.
Yeah.
I guess.
Which is a good thing.
Okay.
Okay, and then my most memorable moment with Sheryl, because we were so close, so there were lots of memorable moments, but one thing I remember when it comes to, we would always crack up when the bill of her phone would arrive because it was so long, and then we would always look for whose number is this, who are you calling, and then and then she was always there at my house and we would have sleepovers because We would study for zoology, comparative anatomy. We were always together for summer classes, and she would sleep over at my house. And then with Andre, oh my God, first day in school, I think he sat on a table, the teacher's table. He sat in the middle, and then he just suddenly grabbed my bag, and he was like getting everything inside it and showing to everybody what's in it, like napkins. Andre, why did you do that? So embarrassing talaga. So that at first talaga I didn't like Andre. It was so annoying, but you know, he's really nice. He's a true gentleman actually, if you get to know him. And then
Weren't you seatmates?
yeah, I forgot. Yeah. So we were classmates. First year, it was Bernardo Borromeo Bocasas. Who would have thought I would be in the middle? They would end up pala together. Because back then, they had their own, Sheryl had a boyfriend then. Andre was
Seeing someone else.
seeing someone else, courting, or one of our classmates, I can't remember. And then they rarely talk to each other. I don't think they really
hated each
I don't
other's guts.
think they really like each other.
Yeah.
For some reason, Andre hated us. Because I think she's not used to girls who are so, I don't know, parte. But lo and behold, in the end, they would end up together. So that was a complete shocker for us. My first impression was when Honey told me that they were together, they were dating. I was like, that is so random. Because who would have thought, diba? Who would expect? But with Honey's help, she played Cupid back then. Things turned out pretty darn good. It's nice naman, no?
Okay.
You were the key to their
Excuse me, wedding wishes. Wedding wishes na, babe.
when